Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy, the Aging Equestrian, and this is Logan. So I am back. I was actually overseas. I got to go to England and Scotland. No, I left Logan behind, but he was very well taken care of by Jenna, right? Jenna came and rode you and brushed you and spoiled you. She did. She did. She said you were a perfect boy, and I was like, really? Really, you? How is that possible? Anyway, I'm back, and I wanted to do a video, a couple of video series, because I just got, oh, he's licking my arm. He's licking my arm. I just got a new Polework exercises book, and it's something that I wanted to start doing with him because I really need to strengthen his hind end, right, buddy? We need to get that worked on. And I know that Polework is like Pilates for horses, literally, and that's the name of the book that I got. So I have a couple of Polework exercises that I wanted to try. Yeah, we're gonna try it today. What do you think? He's been a little bit footsore. He got his feet trimmed finally because he was overdue and I wasn't here. So he got trimmed on Sunday, and past couple of days he's been a little bit ouchy. He's a little bit of a diva when it comes to his pain levels, so we'll see how he is, but hopefully at the very least he can do them at a walk, which according to the book is really like weightlifting for them. They can't use their momentum from like a trot or a canter to get them over a pole. They actually have to use more muscle and balance to get them over the poles. So even just walking and doing pole work is extremely good for them. Right, buddy? You want to stay by your window? Sorry. We got to come out. We got to brush you. We got to do some work. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're in the ring. I've got Logie scoot boots on. He's a little sore. But this is the first pole setup. So it's basically like half of a square. And you set it up. You're supposed to kind of set it up in the corner of the ring. And you want this one as close to the wall as possible. And the objective is actually several. The objectives are several. There are different things you can do with this setup. So you can walk your horse or trot and or canter along this corner. You can obviously do this in concentric circles so that then you come out and you do the outer poles in a circle. And if you're going for rhythm, trying to get the same amount of steps each time you do it, or if you are trying to go for impulsion or collection, lengthening and shortening your stride. And then you can also, which is Logan, sorry, he just yanked me back to scratch his leg. You can also come along this outer pole and then make a circle inside this half of a box, half of a square, trying to make your circle nice and round, and then come back out again. Okay, so welcome to this Deceptive Polework exercise. And this is a bunch of the video that I took all spliced together, so it's not super duper boring, but it still might be a little bit boring. But that's like the beauty of this, and one of the reasons why it is so deceptive, because you think it's going to be easy. Like, these poles are just kind of set up in this right angle, half of a square or 2/3 of a triangle if you want to get technical. But you can work on so many things at the walk alone. And what I discovered is that I actually kind of knew this, but the walk is our weakest gait, Logan and I. Coming from a hunter-jumper background, you know, he's not super trained in cadence and pace and rhythm and keeping at the walk, because in hunter jumper world, you're not really doing that so much. But in dressage, the walk is a really important gait, and it's something that, we're going around in this circle and you can't see where I am right now. But I was like, geez, this is hard. He's slowing down. My circle is like an egg. And then he's like, just kind of not really enthused. And granted, this part, I really was just warming up. So I was giving him his head, and I was kind of letting him just be really relaxed about it. But I was also really trying to maintain his shoulders, because he tends to bulge to the left. He has a really hard time not doing that. And that's based on his injury. And everybody has a weaker side, including horses. So that's just kind of what I really tried to work on. And so you can see we did the different ways. I think I went in both directions. You can do the smaller part of the angle there and then the larger one. And then you can come in and you can do a really tiny circle. This is really small. And so I really found this super challenging to not do an egg shape. Every time I did it, I was like, oh God, this is really hard. So this is a great exercise for you, even at the walk, you and your horse, to really focus on your line, your circle, your evenness, your rhythm. And you can literally pick 6 different things to work on and focus on just at the walk. So if you're a new rider, or if you're a rider who doesn't really like to do much more than a walk, it's totally fine. This is super challenging. I find the walk to be really challenging. And I found so much to work on here as I was going around and around in these circles. And, I highly recommend this. And like the book says, walking, the horse has to use a lot more strict power and not momentum. So they have to actually really use their muscles to lift and to turn, and not rely on their momentum to get them around. So you're really focusing. I really need to have a faster walk here. So I just start to trot, because I'm like, okay, this is tough. We're having a hard time here. And this is our first lap, and Logan spooks at somebody walking down the barn aisle. So I'm like, oh, whatever. Just keep spooking. That's fine. Whatevs, buddy. And he just keeps going around, and he's fine. And so I tried to just focus on the same things here at the trot. And what I really liked about this exercise is that it's almost like having a trainer there with you. Like, this is the pole work is a limiting factor. Like, I cannot ignore how the bend is. I cannot ignore what my pace is. Because the poles really make that perfectly clear. If you've got a nice pace, if you've got the right bend, if your horse is using their hind end more than their front end, or vice versa, it can really kind of tell you what you're doing wrong and how to correct it, because you can try it again and again and again, which is what you'll see me end up doing here. I'm trotting through. I found, and this is actually the right, even though it looks like the left, it's just because my camera was flipped around. I found this direction to be harder because he bulges to the left. Like, you can see this weird straight, like, motorbike turn that he does. He's not really bending, and this is actually the direction he's better at bending. And I recognized that at that point I wasn't doing inside leg to outside rein. I was like, oh my gosh, Christy, inside rein to outside leg, or no, inside leg to outside rein. Yeah. So I think I actually, yes, this is exactly when I was like, okay, we're going to do this at the walk again. And let me just see if I can get a better bend and a better line of sight here and better circles, because I wasn't able to do it at the trot. I was holding his left shoulder too tightly and trying to keep him too straight. And I recognized that. And then I was like, okay, let's just, and see, you can see there at the end of that line, we did a little bit better of a bend. So I was happier with that. And then I'll just kind of, I think I just keep doing this for a little bit. And I'm working on that circle as I come around on the outside. I'm really focusing on making this circle exact and the same every time I do this. So I'm trying to follow the same line, trying to count the footsteps, and I'm trying to really just work on this bend and making sure I get what it is that I want out of it. And so I go back to the trot, and I thought I would try again just to see if we got it. And I do the same line. You'll see I just kind of come around here and I do the same line again and again, and it ends up looking a little better. And it's really about those small progresses and just kind of practicing these things repeatedly so that we get stronger and we get better. So I really liked this pole exercise. I highly recommend it. Even if you just walk, you're going to find a wealth of information about yourself and your horse through it. All right, so exercise complete. I will likely have done a voiceover because I had the radio on, and obviously I just did a big long recording. So I'll be breaking it into small pieces and splicing them together. Yeah, so I think that went well. It definitely was illuminating for the things that we need to work on, and me especially, because it really challenges your sense of pace, your line that you pick, and just how well you are inside legging to outside reining. And Logan bulges his left shoulder. He basically spends most of his time trying to put his left shoulder or his left hind end in. So I am automatically always trying to keep that, straight. And so I think I had the most trouble going to the right because of that. I was keeping him too straight, if that makes any sense. And it was just kind of messing us both up in our rhythm. And I went back to the walk, which you'll probably hear me say, and then I tried it again. And it worked better. So we learned, right? And it's really good exercise even at the walk. So it is definitely something we will do again. And I forget the name of the book and the author, but I will definitely put that in here, so to give them credit for it, because it's not mine, but I can definitely say to them that I like it, and it is a good challenge, and I appreciate them giving me the information. So you go ahead and try it out, see how it works for you, and let me know. Bye.